I now ask if any person has a genuine reason why these two should not be joined in marriage. Please speak now or forever hold your peace.
I'm really, really sorry. I don't think I can marry you.
Oh my God!
When love meets the cameras. It's called Married at First Sight. Relationship experts pair Aussie strangers who meet and then marry within minutes.
You must have got my email. I'm your Nigerian prince.
Brave new strangers
I actually feel sick. I don't want to be with anyone that gets arrested.
are taking the ultimate leap.
I don't know if I'm going to be matched with a man or a woman.
I'm not coming for my husband.
For love.
Many call it trash TV, but many more can't stop watching it. It's now aired in 120 countries and season 13 has just launched in New Zealand.
Series 13 this year, you need to brace yourself because we have a group dynamic of very overpowering, domineering women that are going to come for everybody.
That's Sydney-based show host and relationship expert John Aiken. He lived in New Zealand for many years, including with me. More on that later. And he's now arguably a bigger star than the brides and grooms he matches. But he doesn't always feel the love.
It's confronting.
Yeah.
Because your mind goes into this state of, well, how does someone know where you are and am I being followed? You sort of get paranoid, really.
More on that in a moment. Hi, I'm Amanda Gillies, and today on The Detail I'm joined by John, who is in New Zealand for the launch of the latest season. We talk about the scandals, what's actual reality, the backlash, and whether we'll see another New Zealand version. But we start with what we can expect from season 13.
It is hectic, it's confronting, and I think it does have some love in it, but I think the real storyline in it is that there is a group of women, they call themselves the Boss Babes.
The Boss Babes.
They band together at the Hens Night, and then they go forth and they look to conquer anyone and anything during the experiment.
You're not coming for my husband.
Take some deep breaths.
No! I'm going to come for you later, but just wait 5.
If the husbands stand up to them, they come after them. If a woman says, I don't like the way you're behaving, they go after her. And with the experts, they absolutely have no time for us. So it's a very different experiment because we've never had a group dynamic like this, so powerful, and also it makes it very difficult for love to come through in such a toxic environment.
How do you deal with that? Because you're known as sort of the Simon Cowell, the tough judge.
We're not done with you.
You need to hear this. That's your problem. Because until you can answer that, you're going to keep repeating your toxic pattern.
You don't take any of their
No,
crap.
so I come after them and I lay the law down. Some of them say to me, hey, John, you're just another man silencing a woman.
Ooh.
So we're not going to have it. We're girls, and we're going to speak our truth. And so what happens is I tag team with Mel and Alessandra, and then they come in and try and hold up the mirror to them. The challenge, though, is, frankly, that they see themselves as empowered and that they are in the right. Whereas I think people at home will watch it and go, wow, that's actually offensive and disrespectful. I guess the theme will be from the show, when is it okay to speak like that and when is it not?
I want to backtrack just a little bit. For this season, how many people applied to take part in season 13? How many accepted?
Well, roughly we get 12,000 a year.
12,000?
From that, a lot of them get weeded out for all sorts of things, whether it's medical checks or background checks, police checks, work, have problems with them coming on the show, etc., etc. In fact, we even have people dropping out just before the experiment because they fall in love with someone that they've met at a restaurant or at a bus stop. And they
That's
say,
lovely.
We're out because we're not interested anymore. So there are a number of ways in which they get ruled out, but we see the top 30 or 40 and we're matching. But when we're doing that, we're also thinking of a great diversity because MAFS can show different ages, different cultures, different sexual orientations, different backgrounds. So it is a very diverse show and the network are thinking that when we're putting them all together.
Because what do you look at? Because are you looking for sparks or drama, or are you be honest with me, John Aiken, are you truly looking for
I'm
a
always
couple?
honest with you, Amanda.
Looking for a couple who are going to find love?
No, we know now that all of them pretty much have a driver of life after MAFS.
They want their 15 minutes of fame. They want to be influencers, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what we're thinking is, okay, but do they want to fall in love? And why are they in this position now?
You're here on this show because you're 35 and single and you've been going out with young women and it hasn't worked.
And I get that narrative that...
It's not a narrative, it's just fact.
And that's what's very intriguing for me, because I get this front row seat to the dating and relationship world for 6 months every year, where I'm talking to 25-year-olds who will tell me things that I've never heard before. And it's fascinating. And I think people find this intriguing. So this year we have a girl that comes on, and I said to her, what do you want from a man? She said, I want a man to make me feel baby pink. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about.
What is she talking about?
So she said, well, you need to match me with a guy that's blue. So they've colour-coded these masculine, feminine roles now. Like the year before that, it was all about trad wives and warrior mindsets. The year before that, it was gaslighting and being in your femme role and your masculine role. So what happens is, whatever's going on in the zeitgeist out there in the dating world, it shows up in the experiment, and I find that intriguing.
Biggest scandal this season, what can you tell us?
The biggest scandal, I think, probably is when the couples retreat happens.
Yep.
And while the boss babes come after people, they really double down on one of them. And it gets incredibly fraught and tense and results in one of the couples having to leave.
Wow.
It just gets too much for them. And I think that's one of the things that I found really, because I've got a 13-year-old daughter and I'm watching these boss babes thinking, geez, you know, high school, because it feels very much like high school this year's series. And I'm thinking, I hope it's not like that for her at school, because it's very difficult to stand your ground when you're confronted with a big group like that.
How do you as a production deal with that so that people get the right wraparound support? Because the fallout for this could be ongoing.
Yeah.
You know, there could be serious mental health fallout. How do you deal with that?
So what we've got is a system of duty of care where they meet psychologists before going on the show, and they get fully assessed. They have social media training before they go on the show. And then they have psychologists on set and available to them throughout the show, and then after the show indefinitely. So that they can really access that support all the time, plus the production's always watching them, filming them. So there's this constant assessment of them on a daily basis. Because ultimately you're dealing with matters of the heart, which can cut quite deep. Whereas on other reality shows, you know, you're talking about the lasagna that you ruined, or you didn't do the ensuite quite the way, you know, the bathroom ensuite like you should. So there's not that same personal exposure that you get on our show. And so we've got duty of care is absolutely paramount for us.
You get a lot of bad headlines.
The married at first sight experts are the real villains of this show. Everything that they do is just designed to destroy the couples. They need to be held accountable.
We get a lot of them, Amanda.
Yeah, a lot. And, you know, the show should not be on air. This is so wrong.
Yeah. The experts are actors.
Yes, exactly.
We ply them with alcohol to get them to do things.
There are drugs. There is... Talk me through this. What is fact from fiction?
Well, there's a lot of myths around the show, and I was talking to someone the other day about it, because people will cross the road to abuse me, but they'll also cross the road to thank me, because it's polarising.
Yep.
People love it or hate it. They don't sit in the middle. And so the myths around the show kind of create this noise that means more and more people are going to watch it. But much of the myths are just that. They're not accurate. So, for instance, the alcohol one, we are very closely monitoring all of their alcohol intake when they're on the set. And if they get to a certain limit, they are cut off, because you can't interview people, and you've tried this, I'm sure, over your career, Amanda, where you try and interview someone who's drunk. It's terrible.
Oh, it's entertaining for a second and then it's gone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Eyes rolling back, dribbling on themselves. It's no good.
Yeah.
You can't get anything out of them.
You can't understand a word.
Exactly. So alcohol is not something that we really want to influence the show. So that's an example there of a myth.
Everyone says it's scripted.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is totally unscripted and unpredictable.
Yep.
That's why I watch like everybody else. Kelly and I'll be at home, champagne, girls over, and we're watching it to see how it unfolds. I mean, even though I've lived it, I don't know what's going to make it to air. But they are told right in the beginning, what you say and do will be put to air. So that's over to you, how you want to be on this show.
What about those who get off and they say that was edited in a special way? Yeah, the villain edit. Thank you, yeah.
Well, what you're seeing on camera is exactly what they are off camera.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. And I know that because I've seen and watched them. And in a moment of honesty, I could say to them, hey, guys, you remember, though, there are certain things you did at that dinner party that actually didn't get shown. And that's working for you.
We've been gentle here.
So generally speaking, though, the storylines come as a result of how they are on the show. So, for instance, these boss babes, we've never had that before. And while we had men behaving badly last year, we wanted strong women on the show this year. I was very excited about that. Everybody was. And we matched them with alpha guys, and we thought this would be good, strong role models. They turned out to be, the boss babes that took apart everybody. Now, that was a storyline that no one would have imagined happening.
Is there a point where you go, actually, this is too much, I'm going to get them off the show? Or is there too much value in having them on the show?
No, I think there are times when we've asked couples to leave because it's just not, their dynamic just isn't healthy for them to carry on together. And what I do say to people is, even though we have that rule of if one person says stay, the other says leave, you stay on for another week.
Yep.
What you'll see this year and also in previous seasons is that if it's just no good, they'll leave, because there's no point in keeping them on and trying to get them to turn it around if they just don't want to do that.
Personal question for you. I've known you for years. We probably should do a disclaimer. We used to live together.
Yeah, we did.
Not as lovers, as flatmates, and it was a good time.
Life highlight.
Constantly. It was. Yeah. We loved it. You were an incredible sort of established relationship psychologist. What made you, John Aiken, decide to say, yes, I do, to Married at First Sight?
Well, I was in Australia. I moved there with Kelly in 2008. We both felt like we needed a fresh start. We didn't have kids, and we were like, well, if we're going to have kids and we're going to move, let's do it now before they come. So I was over there. I'd written a couple of books and tried to get into the market over there. I'd done an ABC documentary, but I was really struggling to break the market, to be honest. And so I was in this private practice seeing singles and couples, and this email, 2014, came in. And it was a group email, not just to psychologists, but to clairvoyants, matchmakers, counsellors, everybody, neuropsychotherapists. And I went in, I showed Kelly and I said, what do you think of that? And we both like, this is pretty weird, this concept. Is it going to help or is it going to hurt us? I don't know. But I wasn't really in the media at all. And so I thought, well, I'll do the audition. Now, when I got the audition, everybody thought that it would be one and done. So there was I was excited by it, scared by it, but also thinking in the back of my mind, this will be 6 episodes and we'll never see it again. So that's kind of what got me to the point of saying yes to it. But then it exploded and there was already a lot of noise around it. People loved it and went from 6 episodes to 40 episodes. And it went from 4 couples to 12 couples. And now it goes into 120 countries. So it's a show, I think it's a bit like music or fashion or anything like that. No one really knows whether it's going to hit or miss. But when it hits, you just hold on tight. And that's what I'm doing now.
How's it changed your life?
Drastically. So I don't do private practice anymore. I just do the show. It's different if Kelly and I go out to a restaurant or if I'm in a Westfield Mall, for instance, an airport, the gym. The other day, someone tapped me on the shoulder when I was doing sit-ups. So you're constantly aware that you're in the public eye. Supermarkets, it's weird because people will smile when you're walking by them and then they realise, I don't think I do know him, but maybe I do. And then they just scurry away. It's quite weird. So there's very much a public eye to it now. And I think also for me, the size of the show's popularity continues to grow, and so I'm now more aware of podcasters and people online that are commenting all the time about everything to do with the show, which wasn't even there maybe 3 years ago.
The noise must be deafening of that. I did see last year some guy was chasing you down the street.
Yes.
Do you ever feel ethically and morally compromised what you do on that show?
Do you know what? I'm not going to answer your questions.
How do you deal with
Ambushed
that?
me, yeah.
Ambushed, that was exactly what it was.
It's confronting.
Yeah.
Because your mind goes into this state of, well, how does someone know where you are, and am I being followed? You sort of get paranoid, really.
Yeah.
And it rattles you a little bit because you're in a state where you feel like you could say something wrong and you get a gotcha moment that could hurt the show or could hurt you and cancel you. And so you're on edge. And that's something that, and people will photograph you a lot without you knowing it. I find that quite difficult.
Yeah.
It'd be fine if I looked glamorous all the time.
but you do, and you're a very beautiful wife.
But typically, you're not looking particularly great, and they've got you from a terrible angle with bad lighting, and they're saying, oh, the MAFS guy outside the chemist. And it's like, oh.
Where's the glamour?
But that's the change now. Anyone that goes into our show, and you'll find this as well, being in the media for so long, you now are much more public than I think you used to be.
What about contestants? Because you are harsh, you are direct, you're to the point, you don't take their crap.
Jono, she spoke up. She's called a dog, but you weren't upset by it. If someone said that to me about my wife, I would come out full throttle, all guns blazing. I think we can all agree that that's not good enough. I think that you currently are involved in a pattern, a toxic pattern, which is on full display.
Have you ever had one who's lunged at you, who's abused you, or even had a fear for your safety in that sense?
There's certainly a number of them that have come for me after. During the show, yes. They've had me on, used some pretty colourful language. But after the show, you'll really find out what they think of you, because they'll go on podcasts and go online and they'll talk about you and what they think of you. So yeah, they do, because once again, and I don't take it personally, because I know that they're trying their best to fall in love, and they're, in a sense, they're exposing who they are, and that can be really upsetting for them when they watch it back, and so they at times can be upset by it.
How then do Australian contestants compare to Kiwi contestants? Because we have done Married at First Sight.
Yes, and I did Married at First Sight New Zealand 2 years ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was a very different show. So the Australian participants are very dramatic. They don't particularly get along as a group. So there's hostility in the group.
They're competitive.
They're competitive, yes, absolutely they are. They do want love, but they are very, very focused on, being the biggest personality in the room. When I did the New Zealand version, it was more heart and humour. They were funny. They liked one another.
Nice.
They not necessarily did they fall in love, but they were quite respectful of one another. And so my role, while I did go hard on occasions, it was more all of us being in it together, trying to get love over the line, whereas it's much more combative in the Australian market.
Do you think we'll get another version? Do we have enough people here to do a version?
I mean, I'd love to do it. I did it with a sex therapist, Jo Robertson, when we did it, and she was fantastic.
She was.
Could we do it again? It's the money side of it. Married at First Sight Australia is the most popular version in the world, but it is also the most expensive one.
Yep.
And it does, when you watch it, it's like watching a movie. It's highly produced, all the drone shots and the cityscapes, and it's all glamorous. And so I think it's a hard show to make unless you've got a lot of money.
Ratings-wise, where are you in Australia? You number one?
Number one. We've been number one for 8 years, and the numbers went up this year when it aired a week ago, which in this market is very unusual, as you know, because, TV is, not an easy platform now. But for some reason, Married at First Sight, it's almost becoming this cultural phenomenon where you watch the tennis in Australia for 2 weeks, and then you move into MAFS for 10 weeks, and you don't move off the couch. People will comment on it, they'll do reels, TikTok, you name it. And it's just become a part of the lifestyle that February through April, it's MAFS time. And so the numbers stay very, very high. And I think it's great to be a part of that. Yeah, I think people now are really wedded to it in a way which it kind of just, everyone talks about it.
Can I be honest with you? I have a text group of friends called Secret MAFS Group because we love it. And after every show in the show, we are texting each other.
Well, let me ask you that, Amanda. Why do you think it has grown? This is 13 seasons in. What's the secret ingredient?
It is unexpected. It is explosive. They are living probably a life we're never going to live,
Yeah,
if you know what I
totally.
mean.
Totally.
And so they are doing and saying stuff that we would never do or say.
It is very voyeuristic.
Yeah, it is.
And they're real, which is bizarre, but
Yeah.
they're kind of caricatures.
Yeah.
You know, you'll have the person from the Gold Coast with huge hair and coming in with their tattoos and their revenge bodies, and then you've got your YouTube bloggers, you know, that are trying to get out there in the fitness world, and we've got this wonderful love story this year with two people that have never been in relationships, and they are so awkward, and they're trying to get together, but they're fumbling along, and you want them to get over the line, but he keeps putting his foot in it, and I think you look at these people and think, well, it's like a soap opera.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
But it is a real life one.
How many successful couples do you have?
I think we've got about 6, I think.
For the 13th.
Yeah, that's right. And what you'll see in the first ep of Series 13 is Jeff and Ree, who got over their line last year.
Yeah,
They're
they
very
were
much
lovely.
in love.
Good.
They start the front of the show for us.
They give you hope.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, because ultimately I think while everyone loves a drama and a train wreck and heartache and a group dynamic that's very confronting, ultimately they're watching it to see whether they get the fairy tale.
Yeah.
And can two strangers that have never met really actually fall in love? We've got a number of them are still together, which we need because the show has to work. Otherwise, people aren't going to watch it if it's just chaos.
Yeah, too much. Question for John Aiken. If you weren't beautifully, happily married to the gorgeous Kelly Swanson Rowe, would you ever be a contestant on Married at First Sight?
I would really, I think, struggle with the amount of time I'd be on camera.
Stop it.
No, seriously, can you imagine, Amanda, at 5:30 in the morning,
Ooh.
knock on the door,
No.
you're in the PJs,
No,
open the door,
No.
hair is out,
no.
no makeup, and they're
Oh, no.
saying, right, let's talk about your relationship. And then that camera, it's on you until 10:30 at night.
You're
So-
losing your voice over this.
I know.
It's terrifying
I know.
you.
So I'm thinking to myself, could I do that? Like, I'm okay with the dinner parties and the CCs that I do as an expert, but could I actually cope with that amount of sort of intense scrutiny? And I think it would be really challenging. You've got to be very, very resilient to do that. And also to cope with the dynamic of the group as well as trying to get along with you and your partner. It's not for everybody. Do you think you could do it?
Hell no.
No.
For all those reasons.
And then, of course, when the PR rolls out, you are then under this immense amount of scrutiny,
Yeah.
which, again, when I first started, there was no social media. So we had people that were kind of very down to earth, looking for love, strange show, they're trying to get matched. Now social media has taken over so much of it, and it's very brutal. It is. You have to have a really thick skin. And that's something that I've had to learn along the way to develop.
How many more series do you reckon you've got in you?
Well, I'll do it as long as I can until it finishes. I think what you'll find is that the numbers will dictate the story. You'll know when people are starting to get tired of relationships, tired of the format or whatever. We may at that point bring in the celebrity version. just to
And
bump up the
maybe we will see John Aiken then.
But I think overall, one of the things that I do love is that the show, because relationship issues, dating, they're universal to everybody. And the show appeals to both singles and couples. So I think it has longevity to it. How long that will be, I'm not sure. But I certainly would love to see it out if I could.
That's it for today. The Detail is a newsroom production supported by RNZ and New Zealand On Air. Thank you to John Aiken. This episode was produced by Gwen McClure and engineered by William Saunders. I'm Amanda Gillies. Matua.